Capcom just announced that they've been working on a new remaster of the original Dead Rising, and I personally am head over heels excited about it. Dead Rising is a game that is so far from every other genre of games that I like to play, and yet, after I played it for the first time, I got so into it and have beaten it many times over again since. Today I'd like to share the magic of what this game is to anybody that may not know, and hopefully interest people in playing through the beautiful remaster once it releases on September 19th. And don't worry, there won't be any major spoilers here, let's just get into this. We kick off the game as freelance journalist Frank West sitting in the back of a helicopter. To keep things brief, Frank heard something was going on in the small town of Willamette, Colorado. The pilot flies around above the town for a while so Frank can snap some good pictures of the action until they're met with a couple of military helicopters trying to chase them off. Frank convinces the pilot just to fly close enough to the roof of the mall so that he can jump off, and the pilot agrees, telling him that he'll return to pick him back up in 3 days. And once we step foot on the roof of that mall, the mayhem begins. That's about all I'm gonna say regarding the story of the game, but I'd still like to give it some well-deserved praise. This story takes itself pretty seriously, and it definitely kept me glued to the game my first time through it. Mysteries are afoot, colorful characters can be found all throughout it, and honestly, it's just really well told to the player. What's especially involving about it though is that this entire game and its story run on a timer for the 3 days that Frank West is gonna be stuck in the mall. That's right, time moves forward as long as you're playing the game with Dead Rising. Much like the Pikmin games or Majora's Mask, you always need to stay conscious of what time it is and how much time you have to get certain things done. If you take a look at your watch, you'll be able to track whichever missions you have available for the window of time you're currently in, and the longer or shorter this bar for the mission is, the more or less time that you'll have to get it done. Typically, games that play out with an over-encompassing timer scare me away because it's kinda stressful, but somehow the pacing in Dead Rising really makes me feel like I have enough time to get everything that I want done. There are times here and there that I opt to not chase after a certain side mission if I think I won't have time to make it, but there's kind of a beauty in that. You're very much free to accomplish whatever goals you set for yourself in this game, and if you miss a couple, it's no big deal. You're only here for 3 days. Let's get into what we'll be doing during these 3 days though, as the gameplay of Dead Rising is an entirely different feeling to what the story offers. The gameplay loop here is meant to be goofy. You can jump on zombies' heads to get around, you can pick up and throw nearly every object you come across in the mall, and in so many moments throughout the game, you're basically begged to go on a huge killing spree. Killing zombies in large numbers will give you experience points, which level you up as you play. The higher the level, the more abilities and stat upgrades you'll be able to utilize on your way through the game. And a lot of the leveling just happens while you play the game too, so it's really nice in the way that you should never really feel too weak to take on any of the missions that you're handed. Another great way to level up is to use Frank's specific skill set as a journalist photographer to take pictures while you play. You'll get experience for the types of shots and action sequences you're able to snap pics of, and while not being something that I end up using a whole lot when I play this game, it can definitely be a pretty effective way to gain experience while you play through. Aside from taking pictures, jump kicking zombies, or swinging entire park benches and steel shelves around, we also have the ability to dress our main character in whatever we happen to find in our way through the mall. Shoes, glasses, pants, whole outfits, they're all here somewhere, and as soon as you find them, they're yours to mix and match with. It just adds to the fun that this goofy game has already provided in a really organic way. There are also a couple secrets you'll probably happen across as you make your way through this game, and I'll just share this one with you now. If you hop off of these stairs in the Paradise Plaza section of the mall, you can climb up this blue structure. Running along it will take you to a free orange juice which heals quite the number of health points, as well as your very own secret submachine gun. Guns are not always the easiest thing to come by in this game, so if you do find yourself struggling to kill a dual-wielding chainsaw clown or anything else along those lines, give this secret gun location a shot. There are fun things to find all over this mall that will help you make it through whichever situation you find yourself in, and the magical part about it all is just how differently it plays out for different people. I've got my go-to tips and tricks throughout this mall, and some of my friends have completely different ones they rely on that I've never actually found in any of my playthroughs. Playing all the way through this game just feels like a personalized experience every single time. Actually, while I was playing this game through for the footage I'm using in this video, I stumbled across a bit of a moment I was able to exploit that I had never really seen before. Once the first night hits in this game, you'll find that a jeep of 3 convicts is riding amok in the park in the center of this mall. Naturally, it's not a very easy set of characters to kill, but I did find a couple of zombie cops to steal handguns from, and with my trusty submachine gun in hand too, I figured this would work just fine to try taking them on. As soon as I step into the park to finally face what I'm assuming at the time will take many attempts of failure before I finally succeed, I see that these guys ran their jeep into a light pole and they're staying perfectly still. For some reason, they never decide to back up, they never decide to shoot at me from either the passenger seat or the minigun on the back of the jeep, and so I was free to slowly shoot them all down with minimal usage of my ammo. This was hilarious to me, as the AI often tends to be every time you're forced to interact with them. You never truly know what you might see them do. The gameplay loop in Dead Rising is fun. The boss fights are all pretty cool, the story always keeps me super involved with what's going on as I play through it, and the contrast between the gameplay and the story has always played out super well in my opinion. One minute you're riding through bigger hordes of zombies than you've ever seen in your new army jeep, and the next minute you're stressing out with some other main characters over what we're gonna have to do about this old guy who locked himself in a bookstore. This game is magical, and I really hope that I've convinced some of you to give it a shot today. It's a super old game with all the visual charm you'd expect from a PS3 era title, and it's only 13 Canadian dollars on Steam. Or you could wait for the new, much prettier Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster coming out on September 19th. They're working hard to stay true to the original gameplay feel while also correcting a few things that functioned a little too unpredictably in the original release, and obviously raising the bar with the graphics this time around as well. I know I'll always take whatever excuse I can get to play through Dead Rising again and again, and if that excuse happens to be a brand new remaster made for the fans of the original game, you know I'm in it 100% of the time. If you like content like this where I gush about games that I love, click on one of the videos coming onto your screen here in a second. And if you like that video you click on just as much as you like this one, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos like this every single Friday and have been for over 6 months, so you've got plenty of content to catch up on. Until next Friday though, that's my time. My name is Myloe, and I'm out.